I know you share this sentiment because Tobago is beautiful all the time, but it is especially a good time to go to Tobago as we are getting ready for the Tobago Day Awards. That's right. Avian Parks, the communication director at the THA, is joining us to give us some more information on how you can be celebrated as a member of society for doing outstanding things for Tobago. Avian, good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Ayenka. Let me say good morning to your national, regional, and international audiences. It's a pleasure, as usual, to be on the Now program on TTT. And of course, good morning, Tobago.
Of course, good morning to Tobago. Tobago, better pay attention because the nominations or registration, I believe, will be closing on the 30th of September for the Tobago Awards, correct?
Correct. That's right, Ayenka. And sometimes as a people, we like to be last minute. So I'm really hoping that Tobagonians all over are tuned in. The nominations deadline is the 30th of September and it will not be extended. So please try to get your nominations in as soon as possible. It is an online process only. So please don't come to the office of the Chief Secretary at Calder Hall. We will not be taking physical nominations. There is a QR code that you can access the nomination form, or you can visit the THA's website at www.tha.gov.tt. So the nomination process, it's totally online. You can nominate an individual or a group, but you are not nominating for the category. We have just indicated what the categories are, similar to the national awards, right? So you nominate the person and you indicate why you think this person is worthy of an award. Also, let me say, you ought to get the permission of the individual or group as well, because they will need to accept. So once the awards committee has decided or deliberated, they will go to the person to ask if they're willing to accept the award. So, prior to that, you should inform them that you are nominating them. So then that process flows easily.
Avian, there are quite a few interesting facets to this Tobago Day Awards, including some new categories. So I want to give the viewing public an idea of some of those categories and perhaps guidelines or criteria that they can consider when nominating a person. There are 7 categories for the awards this time around. And before we get into the new one, the easiest versions would be the honor gold, silver, and bronze medals. Give us some distinctions as to what makes you a gold recipient, a silver recipient, or a bronze recipient to these awards.
Staple awards, but it's actually 4. So you have the gold, silver, bronze, and the Chief Secretary Award. So those have been running and going for some time. Again, the nominations committee really determines that. And then the final determining entity will be the executive council of the THA, all right? So, each category will indicate long and meritorious service or outstanding service, and that can be for over the years. The Chief Secretary Award, however, is for the last 11 months, right? So the Chief Secretary Award is the only one that is kind of done within a time frame. So the others, you are looking at persons who have contributed to Tobago and the Tobago space over the years. So the new categories, we have the Rose Gold for the women, we have the diaspora, and we have the Award of Merit, and those were introduced last year. So the award for women, that's for any woman who you think, has achieved something significant. When I come on the programs, I don't like to limit persons. I say, let the nominations committee or the awards committee determine that. They are the ones who will decide. And then you have the Diaspora Award. So we have persons in the diaspora still contributing to Tobago, doing NGO work and just different types of work in the community. So that award was introduced to recognize those persons in the diaspora who still have a heart for Tobago and an interest in the development and the progress of the island. And then we have the Award of Merit. Now, that one was very interesting because what was happening over the years, you almost had to wait until you were a retired public servant to be recognized or awarded. So last year, a decision was made to recognize and award persons who are still employed in the public service. So you can be a public servant or you can be a contract worker. And persons were awarded last year. So that I think really went down well for those in the service who are working hard and might feel like their efforts are being unnoticed or they have to wait until they have retired to be recognized.
Right.
We are now recognizing persons whilst they are still working as an encouragement to them to continue doing good work and an encouragement to others around them as well.
Avian is giving us a little bit of trouble. I guess technology is fighting us a little bit this morning. And so I'm thinking to make sure that we get this person's information shared properly, we may have to switch gears to FUNA a little bit. But I do appreciate that we have the flyers to show the actual QR code that persons need to scan so that we can encourage persons to nominate their fellow men or women this morning here on the Now Morning Show. I know that we have emphasized the deadline. Can you hear me? I know that the deadline has been stated before, Tuesday, the 30th of September. That is till 3 p.m. in the evening. And Avian has explicitly stated that it is strictly online. So it does pose a challenge for those of us who might have wanted to go into the office and physically present those forms. But it gives you the opportunity to talk to a fellow man and perhaps not surprise anybody who might decline the award, saying, I want to nominate you, help me put through this nomination on your behalf. At the very least, though, to go over some of the actual categories, because they will be selected by the committee itself. You're looking at the Tobago Medal of Honor in gold, silver, and bronze, all of which are for distinguished and outstanding service to Tobago. And then we also have the Chief Secretary's Award, which gives similar parameters except for the calendar period from October 2024 to September 2025. So Avian, continuing the discussion about the criteria, would you be able to give us some insight on how the selection itself will be done in terms of numbers, perhaps? Since we could nominate the whole of Tobago, I imagine, for continuing to do Tobago well. How many persons are we looking at per category, if at all there is any limit?
I would say that I'm not able to give numbers because it has really and truly changed over the years. Okay. So last year the numbers increased. The year prior the numbers also increased. I'm not really sure this year what the numbers would look like. I really think that the committee and the executive council look at the merits of the nominations, right, and they make a decision. So I would not say that there is a hard and fast rule or policy in terms of numbers, but the merit of the nominations is looked at very closely.
I can imagine. Now, beyond that, while we do acknowledge persons who are not just retired, but actually currently in the service, we also have the opportunity to honor even younger persons, I understand, because we are now looking forward to the Art and Film Competition 2025 as well. This is specifically for Tobago secondary school students. So tell me a little bit as to what birthed this concept.
Right. So the Chief Secretary of Tobago Secondary Schools it was initially the art competition, and it started in 2012. We're really excited this year at the Department of Information as the host of this project because we are introducing for the first time a film component. So it has changed to art and film competition because we realize that the young people are really interested in storytelling by video and they are such excellent content creators. So whilst we previously only had art pieces and the it's only Tobago in the schools, this year we are welcoming films from the secondary schools. So each school can submit a maximum 2 films. And what I would say with this competition, although it's an art and film competition, it's open to non-art students and non-theater art students.
Fair.
So the secondary schools have art programs and they have theater arts programs, but we don't want to limit it to those students who are doing art and theater arts only. So once you are interested in art, you have a passion, you are good at it, you can enter. All we ask is that you get the authorization from your principal. And the same for theater, for the film. You might not be a theater arts student, but you have interest in film and you would like to produce one, just get the authorization from your principal and do the necessary. So we are excited about the 12th the art competition. The numbers in terms of been
still getting some technical problems.
We are, oh my, sorry.
Now, the good thing is that they've supplied me with quite a bit of information for this one. So to make sure that we get the criteria out there, Avian would have started to say that there will be 12 finalists selected because it's 1 submission per student. Per school, though, there can be 2 entries. And what's interesting in this one as well is that there will be no animation or animated short films. So no AI, haha. But we must have an on-screen film with no sexual depiction or content and no weaponry. So they are making sure that it's tailored to the right audience and, of course, the creators themselves, all being secondary school students. That is the main eligibility. No age limits, as she was mentioning. You don't have to be an arts or theater student. And in this case, you'll also be actually using varying forms of media in terms of the art. So oil paint on canvas, acrylics, water paint, drawings with pencils, pens, inks, charcoal, pastels, and dyes are all encouraged. The only exception is that there will be no 3D artwork. So again, no 3D printers to do all the work for you. I love that they're thinking ahead.
Yeah.
And the artwork must be landscape in orientation and submitted on paper or canvas. They do have size specifics, all of which you're going to get on the website as well. And if the artwork doesn't meet the criteria, they're going to be automatically disqualified. But they've done a good job of giving you very clear rules. So, I mean, the chance of that is highly unlikely. So 12 finalists will be selected. Their artwork will be published in the Chief Secretary's 2016 calendar.
20 what?
2026.
I was going to say, you going back in time with the calendar?
Of course, the winning artwork will be featured on the cover of the calendar, coveted spot.
Nice.
And the winning artist will receive $4,000 with the school, rather, $4,000 and $10,000 will be awarded to the school's art program. So that's a nice vibe.
Yeah. So they get 4,000 for themselves and 10,000 for the school?
That's right.
That is performance.
The remaining 11 will actually all get $2,000 each.
Very
so you're
good.
still going on with something.
Yeah.
Good.
And then 13 to 17 places will receive $1,000 consolation prizes. Best I excel somebody going, because everybody getting something. All the participants will get $200 in art supply vouchers as well. So it's a really, really beautiful initiative with a deadline of September 30th, 3 p.m. for your submitting of your artwork to the Shore Parks Complex, ground floor, 3 p.m. Molly, 3 p.m. We're reminding you as well that the awards are still open, though the nominations end on the same day. And that one is entirely digital. So take the time to scan the QR code now. I'm wondering, though, looking forward to seeing these fairs in which persons will be honored, because the criteria is kind of a blanket statement, if you will. Simply making sure that you make positive contribution to Tobago over different periods of time as well. But with the Tobagonian pride, so proud, so grand. I imagine the nominee list will be long.
I think it will be long. I think it's interesting as well. They have 2 additional categories, the Rose Gold Medal and also the Diaspora, Tobago Diaspora Award. It's going to be, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I imagine it will be persons that, yes, live in the diaspora, but may not physically be here all together. So the surprise will be in the conversation of, hey, I nominate you for this, and the committee thinks you're worthy. I do think, though, it's a beautiful initiative and a beautiful way to celebrate Tobago.
So I scanned the QR code just now to see what would happen.
Love
And
that.
it's very interesting because it's very straightforward. You scan the code and it takes you straight to the form, and you're able to just put in all the information. But you also have to upload a CV of the nominee.
Ooh.
So that's also one of the reasons that you would need
Needs to be like us.
to ask
Speak to
them
them,
and speak
yeah,
to them and make
before.
sure that they're on board because they have to give you their CV.
Correct. Update your CVs, guys. And just to be clear, the theme for the Tobago art and film competition for the secondary school students is To Be Gonian. Act. Guys, we are going to come back with more after these messages here on the Now Morning Show. To wrap things up, you don't want to miss this next one.
Sure, I was
Yeah.